Karibu tena sana nakaribisha kwa mkunjufu kabisa. Karibu tena sana. It's a beautiful Thursday, where we say it's a family Thursday, and you know today ni ile siku ambayo Mungu ameweza kutupatia, na tumekwamba since Monday umeweza kubarikiwa sana na program zetu, na leo pia ikiwa ni siku nyingine tena Mungu ameweza kutukirimia na kukaribisha tena sana tukazidi kuanza show yetu, na tunaanza na maombi. Baba, katika jina la Yesu Kristo nasema ni asante, umetupatia siku nyingine tena sana Baba, siku nzuri, siku ya baraka, tunasema ni asante. Kuna wengine wengi sana sasa hivi hata wamelala, wengine wameamka wakiwa wagonjwa, wengine Baba Yesu Kristo wamekufia kwa usingizi. Sisi Baba tumefika hapa, tumekuwa sawa on the roads, and then we are here, Lord my Father, to give you glory and to say thank you as we begin the show. Mungu Baba, na programming of the day, Mungu Baba ukatuongoze, na Mungu Baba ukatusaidie every program, Lord my Father, kuanzia Mwangaza asubuhi, utukufu show, mwale saa 7 Yesu Kristo, heavenly praises, na hata mwale saa 1 na saa 3, na every other programming, God Mungu Baba ukajitukuze. Kila interruptions of the devil, confusions, Lord my Father, from all the sides tunazikemea katika jina la Yesu. Baba, tunatangaza damu ya Yesu, damu ya Yesu, damu ya Yesu. May the name of the Lord Jesus Christ be magnified. Hata kwa ule mtazamaji ambaye anatazama, ule ambaye anapigwa na mapepo, wacha jina la Yesu likamtetee, wacha jina la Yesu likamkomboe, wacha jina la Yesu likamprovide yule ambaye anataka, yule ambaye anahitaji Baba usaidizi, wale ambao wote wako na changamoto mbalimbali Baba ukawatetee. Na hata mgeni wangu Baba Yesu Kristo ambaye ameshafika, na muombea baraka atakapotoka hapa, apokee simu kubwa, apokee financial breakthrough, apokee kibali, apokee amani katika ndoa, kibali kabisa in his life, over his family, over his profession, oh God my Father, ili Baba aseme kwamba wakati alikuja hapa Mungu Yesu Kristo ulicheza kama wewe, ukampatia surprises kubwa, na Mungu sifa na utukufu zitakurudia. In Jesus name I pray and believe. Amen. Mtazamaji, natumai kwamba uko poa tena sana. Nakumbuka kwamba now we are going live, Facebook live pia pale, na kwa wale ambao bado mko kwa nyumba, make sure kwamba uko pale, na wale ambao mnataka kuingia kwa barabara sasa hivi, mkwenda kwa job, ama na maybe uko kwa matatu ama kwa gari, umekaa mahali penye you are not the one driving, twende kazi Facebook, maana tuko live na mambo itakuwa poa sana. Kwa hivyo mgeni wangu wa kwanza ashafika, na nataka tukazidi kuanza kuzungumzia swala ambalo ni monetizing ideas, ili ya kwamba kuweka idea yako ianze kuleta kakiru, you know. Unajua vizuri kwamba sisi wote wa Kenya, ama binadamu wote yule ambaye of course anapenda pesa, ama pesa ni kitu ambacho we need this money for us to function on earth. Hata injili kuhubiri, ikiwa ni crusade ama ikiwa ni kufanya chochote, you need speakers, you need sound, you need venue, mambo kama hayo, na Mungu atakubariki sana. Kwa hivyo siko peke yangu, niko na my brother hapa, mtumishi wa Bwana ambaye pia tunasema kwamba in the corporate space we need believers, and is one of them. Kwa hivyo atajiintroduce, alafu tuanze kazi. Karibu sana my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kevin,
yes,
for having me here. My name is Dr. Simon. A business development specialist. I'm also a pastor, a minister in Westlands, in a fellowship called Destiny Resource Center. But majorly I'm in the marketplace. Thank you for the invitation.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Sasa shosho wangu ana watch, make sure ongea tu Kikenya ndio shosho wangu apate at least. Okay. So tuanze kabisa, when you talk about monetizing ideas, to a layman, what does it mean to monetize?
Maybe before we look at monetizing idea, we need to look at what makes a good idea. What comprises a good idea. And
so kidogo tu mtazamaji, natumai kwamba samahani, tunapoendelea hapa naona tuko hapa, na wacha tuangalie wale ambao wako ndani kabisa. Kwanza pale Facebook naona kwamba watu wameamua kwamba wako ndani kabisa as we proceed, na Mungu atatubariki sana. I've seen people hapa. Great. So now nilikuwa nasema kwamba you are saying something?
Yes. What makes a good idea? And first of all, let me also bring to attention that I consult for International Labour Organization.
International Labour Organization.
Yes, we have quite a number of programs. One of them is called Started Improve Your Business. And ILO has worked to see, they have come up with a program called Generating an Idea. Because an idea is not just an idea. And many people have this perception that any idea can work for anybody. So maybe I will start by asking, let's first of all look at what makes a good business idea. The first thing is you look at an idea must focus on a need.
A need.
Yani hitaji.
Kukuwa na hitaji kwanza.
Yes. By the way, anywhere there is a problem, it's a business opportunity.
Kwa shida yote lazima ikuwe ni business opportunity.
Yes. So an idea should be able to address a certain need in the community, among your friends, in a family setup, in society, in a country like this. Like now we are facing a lot of challenges currently in the country. We are having a lot of Gen Z on the street. To some people, it's a crisis. But to some people, it's a business opportunity. You just need to realize, how can I solve people's needs? So the first thing you need to focus when you're looking at that business idea is, which need am I addressing? That's number one.
Which need am I addressing?
Yes.
Idea.
Niongee kwa Kiswahili. Ni hitaji gani? Ni shida gani ninatatua kwa watu? For example, wakati tulijipata katika janga la COVID. Unakumbuka? Yeah, everybody was in a crisis. But there are people who made a lot of money.
Ukweli kabisa.
Because they saw an opportunity. They saw, I can solve somebody's needs. In fact, we say in business development, the easiest way to market yourself is to identify the problems with people. Once you identify that, you are good to go. The second factor that you need to look at is, who has the need?
The need, then who has the need?
Who has the need? That's the second factor. Hii hitaji ambayo nimeona, ni nani akonalo? For example, if I came here to your studio and I realized there is, you have a need, you have a certain need. To me, to you is a problem. But to me, is an opportunity to make money. And that's the topic you're talking about.
Yes.
So I need to know that the problem that I am going to face is not just to everybody. It's not to every other person.
It's to us.
It is to this particular institution. There is one misconception watu who make ile ya kugeneralize, thinking all young people wakona shida fulani. It is possible that majority of them have a problem, but it is also wrong to generalize
that all the
yes, or all women, or all men, or all churches, or all saloons. Hapana. And that's why we usually even do a research. We can do even a market survey to realize, what do people have? What problem that do the people have? Now, the third thing that you need to consider when you're looking at the business idea is you look at how do people want the solution delivered. I don't know whether you are noting those things.
Yes.
Number one, the need. Two, who has the need. Three, how do people want it delivered? That's why it is possible, like now, if I realized people around your studio, your beautiful studio, I'm looking at a big population here. For example, maybe we could be having a problem. They don't know where to take their lunch. And but I also need to realize that I may start a restaurant downstairs there, but people may not come to downstairs. It is true they need that service. They have a problem, but there is a way they want to be served. People, we usually say problems or challenges are eternal. Eternal means they have been there, they are there, and they will be there forever. For example, people have always wanted a means of transport. People have always wanted a means of communication. People have always wanted entertainment. But the way they want to be served keep on changing from generation to generation. But the need is constant. For example, some years back, it was very hard to get a media station.
Yeah.
We usually used to have only one or two in the country. But now, as the time goes, people are moving from not even the mainstream now, whatever. People even going to the social media.
Yeah.
It's like now people want to be served more in the social media
More than the mainstream.
than the mainstream. You see, the way people want to be served also matters. So I want us not to lose track of what I'm addressing. Number one, the need. Two, the people, and how
to be delivered.
How they want to be served. People don't just want to be served. Even in churches, people attend church for different reasons. Every church has a pastor preaching the word of God. But why is it that some churches, people prefer going to certain churches than others? It's because they want the word, but they want the word served in a particular way. I don't know whether it's making sense.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what you need also to consider when you are looking for a good business idea is, what is the impact that you want to leave in the lives of people?
The impact.
The impact that you want to leave. I don't know whether we are making progress.
We are on the right track, sir.
Yeah, because, if we don't address the need, if we don't address the quality of an idea, then we'll be making a very big mistake. Because many people have many ideas. By the way, ideas come from God. Because ideas are concepts, ideas are thoughts. Even I know this morning when you are coming to work, you have so many ideas. True?
True.
And they are God-given. Ideas are free. But how to package that idea and where to take that idea is what makes the whole difference. We say every great thing you see today, including Mwangaza TV, because I believe you are doing a great job.
Yeah, thank God.
Every great thing today you see today was an idea in somebody's mind.
Yeah,
it was just an idea. I know whoever started this station, one day he just thought we can have a TV station or a series of businesses that looks like whatever we are seeing today. It was just an idea. And then he realized who needs that solution. There was a problem. Maybe that time it was very hard for people to access media station.
Yeah.
I've been there for quite some times. I've been into some of these mainstream media station. Sometimes it's very hard. And sometimes we also don't get the truth that we want to get. The truth is coiled. And so I believe one of the things that propelled the people who started such a station, they saw a need. And they said, this idea will not just going to remain in my mind. I'm going to bring it forth to the people, And so we are saying every great thing that you see today, every great institution, every great business, every great church, everything started on a place of an idea.
Just a thought.
Yes, a thought. Ideas are God-given. They are God-given. They are not... and in 1 minute we say, God, whether saved or not, God has created in such a way we keep on reproducing ideas. But why it's not working for some people is because of many assumptions and misconception.
Speaking of many assumptions, maybe let's start Apple.
Yes.
Or many, especially wrong assumptions.
Yes.
Yes. To answer up about ideas.
Yes. One of and you'll be shocked. I've told you I consult for. I am many of the people that I have assisted, including in church. I met them in the marketplace. So some of the assumptions that people make is one, that as long as you have money, any idea can work. That's one of the biggest
wrong misconception.
Yes. People just get money, they run to the bank, or they call a rich uncle, or you get all your savings and you invest. And research shows that many businesses are not able to see their 4th anniversary. Actually, by the way, for a business to be considered successful, according to the research globally, accepted is what we accept globally is it must have, their business should have gone at least 4 years. Until your business has gone for 4 years with that idea consistently, we don't consider that idea to be successful.
4 years.
4 years. So what usually happens is people try this. After 3 months, they drop it because it was not well thought idea. They never defined the need they are solving. They never defined who has the need, and they also never defined how the target market want that idea delivered. That's why you see some of the Arabs in our country. And I'm not in any way saying Arabs are better than us, but we must also appreciate the way they do business. There's some uniqueness. We have seen these Arabs doing one business for many years. Consistency. You know, I schooled in Kajiado, and I used to come from Mount Kenya, and there are Arab shops I used to see along Ludhuri Avenue on my way to railway station to get my bus to Kajiado. And those Arabs are still doing the same business over the years. And it is very hard to get that with our locals here. Today you are doing this, next year you're doing something else. There is no consistency.
Kwanza Kenya wanasema kwamba naweza uza kila kitu. Leo anauza ng'ombe na pia anauza mashaba. Baadaye pia kuna kaproti pale kako pale Thika. Alafu baadaye pia ukitaka microphone, pia kamera pia niko nazo.
And you know, such people looks like they are doing well. But let me tell you, that's not a business. In fact, in business development services, we call them income generating activities. There is a difference between being in business and in income generating activities.
I have to note it down.
Yes.
The difference between making money and doing business.
Yes. Business is about solving people's needs. It's not just about, and the good thing, it has sustainability. It has sustainability. You can be able to go for years. It can grow. For example, let's focus a few things on a few businesses that we see today. Safaricom, when it is setting its foot in Kenya, I was still young. And they met Telcom, they met Airtel. That time it was Airtel was called
Kensel.
Safaricom came and told us they were not really making money. They were not coming to make money. They told us they have brought us a better option.
Better option. I remember. Yes. That was their theme.
And you know, even today, Safaricom is the most expensive network, yet it is the most preferred network. Why? It's because Safaricom is solving people's needs. Other telecoms have tried to even lower their rates. There is a time even Airtel was giving us almost free. You could call for 2 days for free. And people still are not relocating from Airtel, from Safaricom to Airtel.
Nakumbuka hata mimi nakwambia hapo kuna time yenye unajaribu kununua hiyo line. But then after 1 month tena hiyo hata hiyo line ifu.
Unakuta uko na line mingi za Airtel na za other lines, but ile ya green bado ni constant.
Kwanza ukiweka kwa simu, nyingine ni kwa simu 1. Hizi zingine ni simu 2.
If you go up country, people, you ask these locals, you give them 2 SIM cards. One, and I'm not in any way advocating for Safaricom, but I'm just doing an analysis. Why is it Safaricom is the most expensive telecom, but it is the most preferred? There is something they were able to crack, and that is working for them. And I believe, yes, in the beginning, and they have been consistent. They have been consistent. Look at even the way they branded their products. Safaricom, actually, it's from the word safari. It's a journey. They told Kenyans, we are beginning a journey with you. Safari. So the Kenyans were able to identify with what looked like it's local. Like I can tell you, Safaricom is not a local company. But the way it was presented to them, it looks like it's like a local company. Safaricom, I tell you, most of the shareholders are not Kenyans. But it looks more local than Airtel and Telcom and other telecoms company. I'm just giving you one example. Ability to identify a need, the target market. Look at even the way they treat, there is some years back, you couldn't get airtime. You couldn't get airtime in other telecoms. Less than 100 shillings. Safaricom is the one that has come down to
to 50
even
to
5 shillings.
Yeah, you remember.
Yes, I went to the other day in the local, in one of my villages, and I couldn't get Baba 100, but they are selling Baba 5 because the people in the local, they do not need Baba 100. They need
Baba 5.
Baba 5.
To just send a message, mwambie mimi niko hapa. Fungua gate.
Fungua gate. You know, and they're able to know.
To flash.
Huyo mtu ako kule kijijini ataki Baba 100 because he cannot afford. He will afford Baba 5.
Na hata kika Baba 100 hiyo itabidi ikae karibu 3 months.
You see, it doesn't need to have a Baba 100. Though using Baba 5 is more expensive, but they don't care as long as their needs are getting solved.
I get it.
Now let's get to another corporate. And I like when I'm talking about ideas, I don't like just talking to small things, because every small person today doing business has a potential of becoming great. So that's why when I show people using, when I demonstrate using corporates, they also show you that if you're doing business in a small way, in the future, you can become great. Look at Equity Bank. Equity, when it was setting its foot in Kenya from Muranga, it came and told us that they want to make banking accessible to all. Because those days, banking was only for a few people. You couldn't open a bank account without having a certain minimum balance.
Yeah, I think for the most banks then, I think it was minimum of 5,000.
Yes, you know, 5,000. And you know, 5,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money.
And so what was like a crisis became a business opportunity. And today I tell you, that which started like a joke today is the giant. Equity is the giant. I remember at one point I worked as a staff at Equity Bank, and let me tell you, we were serving who is who in the country. The lowest people in the bottom part of the pyramid. Anybody, there are people who would even come with 10 shillings. They want to bank 10 shillings,
and they queue.
Yeah, they will queue. And people used to say, "Oh, don't go to Equity because there are long queues." Sometimes people come to the bank with mud, you know, gumboots. You know, sometimes they don't even understand the English language, the banking language. You know, Equity had to employ local tellers and officers so that they can be able to interact with the locals. But now what looked like a crisis that time, today, I believe the current group CEO, Mwangi, saw an opportunity.
Yes.
And why we like
from
using
that crisis.
Yeah, from that crisis. And I want to give you local examples to show that every small business today in Kenya, if they can focus on what the big corporates are doing, they can, you know, if you use the same corporate, if you use the same principles that I am using, assuming today I am able to do 1, 2, 3, and I am applying principle 1, 2, 3. It just means if you apply the same principle, you can become like me.
Yeah.
You see? But the problem is mentality, the mindset. The mindset. And that's why we are changing the way people think. And that's why, like I told you, ILO has a whole module. And I think I had begun mentioning to you before the show of, it has come up with a program. You know, this one, I don't know whether the camera can focus here. Yes.
Let my camera person
yes,
let my camera person zoom in so that
we have a whole manual helping entrepreneurs to generate a business idea. You know, and I'm happy that we have helped many entrepreneurs. I've seen people coming from nothing to something great. I can count, it's just that I cannot mention them on camera because they started on the right foot. Because many businesses start on a wrong foot. But when you start well, you package yourself. You know, I'm not just here to make money. Because what usually happens, my brother, is that many times when you just go to business because you want to make money, what it means, when you have enough for your stomach, you lose focus. But when it is about people's needs, even when you make good money, you are not distracted. Many micro, small, and medium enterprises are distracted because they started business because they were in a crisis, they wanted to pay rent, they wanted to drive a good car, and as a result, because you are driving now a good car, your motivation is over. But now if I started a business to solve a need, I was solving a need. I told you, needs will always be there. Whether we have money, whether you don't have money, needs will always be there.
In fact, Jesus Christ said that if it is helping the poor, the poor watakuwa, maskini watakuwa kila siku. Hata Kenya tuomoke aje. Maskini tu watazidi.
There will always be poor people to help.
Yes.
You see? And you know, now bringing even the issue of Jesus on board, you know, why Jesus, he didn't have, you know, for 3.5 years that Jesus did ministry, he never even built a cathedral. He never built a church, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But Jesus had the biggest following. Why? Because he was solving people's needs. Yeah, for many years, the religious people of the day, they were doing certain things that they were not looking very relevant to people. But here comes Jesus. Jesus, the Bible says, wherever he went doing good.
Yes.
I believe the people were there before. They had heard of religious people, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. You know, those who are the pastors of the day. They were doing great things, but they're not helping people.
Yeah.
You know, people
very selfish.
Yeah,
very selfish.
People had started losing touch with the church of the day. Let me call it the church of the day. Until Jesus came and he goes to a funeral, he raises the dead. He meets people who were they had their needs. He brings a miracle. He talks about things that they could understand. Remember, why many people followed him is because they say, this man has a lot of wisdom. He has a lot of wisdom. And I believe, like I had said, if we package ourselves well, and packaging ourselves well means we look at what is needed now. What is needed? Why are Gen Z on the streets? And you know, majority of the Gen Zs, they don't go to church. That's why you have heard of them. They have issues with of course, they have their own extremes. But instead of looking at Gen Zs as a problem, we who have the mind of God, who have the mind of Christ, we need to see an opportunity. One, like I told you, what's your need? Let me see whether you're a good student. Yes. What's the need of the Gen Z?
Yes.
We already know it's the Gen Z.
Yes.
How do they want to be served?
Yes. Yes.
Once we realize that, because the way we preached in our day, when we were young, the way we were evangelized too, the way people came to us to evangelize to us, I can tell you it didn't work for Gen Z.
It can't even work. I think maybe that is the way there's that disconnect.
It's a big disconnect.
Yeah, because we are using the old formula to reach them.
Yes.
To reach out to them.
Yes, we must agree there is a need, but Gen Z want to be served differently. And unfortunately, many men of God are condemning Gen Z. Many of them looks at Gen Z as rebellious, but they are not rebellious people. And if they are rebellious, we were also rebellious. And that's why God had to have mercy on us. You know? Otherwise, that's where we also came from.
Yes.
You know, it's like telling people they are sinners and condemning them as sinners. Yet, you also remember, you're also there.
Yeah.
God had mercy on you.
Yeah.
So if it's about being rebellious, we have a constant. We were all rebellious, but God, through his mercies, he used men of God to come to us. I remember some generation before us, and I don't want to digress, you know, I told you I'm also a preacher. Some years back before I came to the Lord, there was no music in church. There was no music. In fact, the generation before me, they used to use
Darama. Twanga darama mpaka roho ashuke.
Kabisa. But you know, they could not win us na darama. Those years when I was coming to know the Lord, the churches that were at that time using keyboard,
or are the people winning? Our generation. And so what happens, and there are churches who used to condemn the use of keyboard and guitars used to look like it's a disco. And the churches that never changed, they died. You know, so we have to keep on adjusting ourselves to the needs and how generation want to be served. And that's the same concept. And I've told you, one of the greatest teachers of our time will remain to be Jesus. Because I told you, he came with a new method. He's the man that we saw even using the parables. People understood their messages the way they want to be taught, and that's how you attracted the following. And instead of, I don't want to digress now. After you have realized that you have an idea, you realize this idea, and we have a whole settings of trainings, both online and also face-to-face, based on where people are. So I know there are people who could be asking, where can we get such kind of a training and whatever. Maybe after this they can get such a thing. But now having realized this is what I want to do, I know what I'm solving, I know who has the problem, and I now know how the idea, I know how the people I'm targeting want to be served. I told you those three things are very careful, very keen. The next thing you need to have is a plan. You remember when we were young, our Sunday school teacher, our primary school teacher used to tell us, planning to fail
is failing to plan.
Failing to plan
is planning to fail.
Failing to plan is
planning
to fail. When you just get into business without a plan, you are actually creating a very good recipe for failure. And that's why I told you there are so many. If you go to eCitizen every day, eCitizen, you know, nowadays, everybody registering a business is very easy. And not like Kitambo, where people used to, registering a business was a very big deal. Nowadays, registering a name is just within 30 minutes, you are good to go. But at the same rate that people are registering businesses, is the same rate businesses are failing. Why? Because many people start a business without a plan. Because I am sure, my brother, not just for business, even marriage. If you decide to get married and you don't have another plan, I can tell you at one point you get stuck.
Yeah.
True?
Definitely.
Even today, if I told you to, if I asked you, if today your boss told you, we are going to Mombasa. You're going to Mombasa. The other day I was in Liberia. I had, remember we were supposed to have this show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And certain things need to be brought in order. I had to plan my journey.
To go to Liberia.
And what does it entail? It entails, one, what is my destination?
Liberia.
Yes. Number two, what will it take me there? How many days? How will I leave my family? Who will you do 1, 2, 3? And how shall I come back? What am I going to do? What resources do I need?
And for how long are you going to stay there?
You can imagine very simple things. Assuming I started a journey of going to just use Liberia because it has come on the feature, and I realized, you know, like now when I was planning my journey into Liberia, I decided now I'm going there for 10 days, so I need these pairs of trousers. Basics.
Yeah.
I need to have these trousers, these pairs of shirts. I need this. I need my toothbrush. You know, I knew where I was going. I may not have enough local currency, so I needed to buy as much as possible from this side, because when I arrive there, I may not have all the local currency. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
You plan a journey.
So you had to change into dollars, or they are
all those things. Now look at my journey to Liberia as a business. And you decide, I've been told to go to Liberia. Okay, let me go. So the only thing you get is a ticket. And I told you, one of the biggest assumptions in business is people think you are not in business because you don't have money. In fact, when some of the people have gone through our hands in our trainings, I show them that the last thing to discuss about business is money. The minute you focus on money, you lock your creativity. You lose your focus. Now, let's go back to the planning. Because now, after realizing I have a good idea, an idea that is addressing a need, I already know who I'm going to target. And at the same time, I also know who I am, how I'm going to serve my people. So the next thing I need to ask myself, do I have a plan? So we ask ourselves, what is a plan? A plan is a concept of what the idea is, how, what it requires that idea to be manifested, and number 3, how you raise the resources. And resources is more than money. Let me put yourself in the shoes of whoever came up with this great idea of Mwangaza. I'm sure, like many entrepreneurs, they only think, that guy has good TV station. And he has good money. That's what many people assume. But you'll be shocked, maybe, whoever started this thing, even what was major was not even money. Maybe he needed skilled people like Kelvin. People who can start on the screen. People who can, pray for the people. People can invite and look for expert like Simon to come on studio. You can imagine having the money, but you don't have the expert. We also needed this gadget. You see, you have an idea, you have money, but you don't have the gadgets, you don't have the people, you don't have the appropriate location, you don't have the skills, you don't have the goodwill, you don't have license, you don't have the requisite regulation laws, you have not applied to them. So people rush into putting money on business before considering many other factors that an idea needs. And I like dwelling so much. I know many people, when they hear about monetizing idea, maybe they just want to hear, what is that idea that can work for us? And I'm going to address it as actually as my part 3 of this discussion. And I know our time is almost done.
Yeah, we have like 10 minutes.
Okay. So, but it's good to address the root cause, and I hope you are appreciating what I'm doing.
Very, very much. Yes.
It's good to appreciate the root cause, because you can have a good idea, but it is not applicable to you. And I'm giving you an example with such an institution. Or our church here, Jesus Winner. That's your church.
Yes.
You can imagine over and above the money that our bishop needed to have that church in place. It required so many other things. True?
Very true, very true.
And that's how many small and medium enterprises operate. They operate from a place of, they have their ideas and they have money. They fail to understand that over and above having the ideas, there are certain skills I need to develop, or I need support. And we are not necessarily saying you must be perfect, but there is always a threshold. There is always what you need to start. There is always what you need. Okay, this one I can develop as we go, but there is this one thing that I need. Now, all those things are put together in a document called a business plan.
Business plan.
Yes. And like I said, we also have people who are, ILO has also come up with with a document, with a whole module.
Like this one here I'm holding?
Yes.
So this, it has a inside we have a business plan.
Yes. Out of that package, it helps you as an entrepreneur to put all those components into a document called a business plan. You see? So that you start well. That's why that module is called Start Your Business. Can you see? It's called Start Your Business.
Yes, start your
The first one was Generate Your Business Idea.
Yes.
And like I told you, we have seen a number of people, not one. I told you I've been to this thing for quite a while now. And you see, we are not just helping people here, we are helping people across the nation. Who, when the businesses that start with a business plan they say they are 4 times likely to succeed. 4 times.
4 times.
Yes. Than the businesses that start without a business plan. Now let's come to the last question, which is now, how do we monetize that idea? How do we monetize that idea? Remember now we have, I started my discussion on what makes a good business idea. And I've given an overview, and I've said those that would want to get deeper of this, maybe they can come to our trainings. You know, we will help them. It's a very affordable trainings. And also we do a lot of follow-ups and mentorship on the same. In fact, as we speak, many banks now are embracing this program to help their customers, because banks also realize that if our customers are doing well financially, they will bank more.
Yes.
They will pay our loans well. And I'm glad even churches nowadays are embracing these programs, because a strong Christian, a Christian who is having strong faith but doing poorly in the marketplace is a weak Christian.
Very true.
Yeah.
In fact, it is a risk.
It's a risk.
Christ.
Yes. In fact, let me tell you, nobody want to follow someone who looks like he's failing. There is a way success attracts people to themselves. Why many people were attracted to Jesus is because he looks successful. He didn't look like he's struggling. He didn't look like he is he's struggling. He's begging people. You can imagine at one point he was asked at one point, these guys from KRA of that time, they came to him and asked him whether he pays taxes. He did not do a mchango. He just made kikitu hapo, na they got their money
from a fish.
Yeah, and the KRA of that time did not require them Jesus to pray for them. It required money,
not prayer.
And the kingdom of God requires money.
Yes,
we need especially now us who have embraced the gospel to be strong in the marketplace. You know, because even the amount of money that we give towards the gospel is dependent on how much we make.
Yes.
You cannot ask me what I don't have.
Yes.
If I'm making 10 shillings per day, I can only give a shillings a day.
Yes.
But if I'm making $1 million, giving 100,000 is easier for me.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I'm glad that some churches are actually embracing this side of, I call it this side of marketplace empowerment, where they're empowering their people to be strong. You know, what we call climbing up the mountain, climbing up the mountain, the economics mountain, the marketplace mountain. Yes. We rule together with Christ. You know, so and that's why I'm happy that such a station can also embrace such an idea. That people, it is not bad for people to get rich, especially Christians, because who is building the kingdom? It's not the Christians.
Yes.
So let's talk about monetization in the next 5 minutes. So how do we monetize? We have realized we have a plan, we have an idea that is workable, and now we have a plan. So how do we now how do we make that idea make money? Now that's what makes all the difference. Number one, we monetize our ideas through one risk, taking risk.
Taking risk.
Yes.
Take risk.
Yes, take risk. There are people who have brilliant ideas. Yes. They have the capacities. They have actually capacities to go to the nations. And I want to tell you that taking risk is a risk is a risk. That's what it's called, a risk. And so even when I see an entrepreneur fearing to take risk, I fully understand them. And that's why there is always a need for that reinforcement, mentorship.
Training.
Yes, training. That reinforcement. You realize for families, for families, if your father was a businessman, you taking risk is very easier than if in your family range there has never been somebody.
You are the first man.
You are the first man. I tell you, I respect people. I respect people who were the first. They were pioneers to do business
In their family.
Yes, because business is about risk taking.
Yeah.
Because we are never sure.
Whether you'll find clients.
Yes. So let me ask a question. Like now, every year we are graduating people from our universities. That day I checked and I saw every year our local universities, we release about 300,000 graduates every year. Every year we are releasing about 300 graduates. Some of them are lawyers, some of them are doctors, some of them are big commerce, some of them are pastors. But all of them are looking for jobs. But they can't start a business. They have an idea, they have the skill. That idea can make money. Making a plan is very easy for them, but they cannot get into business. Why? Because they are not risk takers. And so we develop, because business is about putting 1 shilling here, an investment, and you just believe God
that it will generate another
tomorrow
shilling.
it will produce another one. And I tell you, it's not for everybody. Starting a business is not for everybody. Although what people forget is, even where you are working, you might say, for me, I am not business oriented. I am not a businessman. But people forget, even where you are working in somebody's business.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And let me tell you, and allow me to say this. I know this is I'm about to make a very dangerous statement.
Go ahead.
I'm allowed to make a dangerous statement. That in a business setup, over and above your employer helping you to make money, the one who is literally making money is your employer, not the employee. You know? Are you getting me?
Yes.
And I'm not in any way trying to incite people. When I say that, people think I'm inciting people. What you are saying is the difference between you, an employee. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about now the employee in my mind.
I am getting it.
Yes, the difference between that employee and the employer is the employee is employed to work, to assist the employer to make money. I'm trying to kill a mentality among many people that for you to earn a living, you must get a job. That's where my projection is. That after tamaking for quite a number of years, you can decide also to become an employer. You can become an employer, but you need to risk. There is a need for us to help entrepreneurs, help as many Kenyans as possible to put their feet on the ground and risk. Personally, I have done so many businesses and they failed. And every time I have an idea and I feel it is a time, I start again. But nowadays, the last 6 years, my business have been doing well. But before that, I had to make a lot of adjustment because, like I said many times, I used to do business without all this what I'm talking about. So one, this risk taking. Number one. Number two, you need to be passionate. You do business out of passion. Passion means you have to be enthusiastic. You have to love the things that you do. You have to develop yourself, develop skills, build capacity, allow the things that you do, so that you become part of that business. And I know the risk can go on and on.
I think we need to continue this because now you just started now tackling the topic of the day.
Yes, I know.
We're just doing an introduction.
Yes.
I don't know, can we have another session?
No worries.
Can we promise my viewer that next Thursday you'll be here?
No worries, I can be here.
Okay.
This is what I am passionate about this, like
Yes.
I'm saying.
Oh yes.
Thank you.
So we shall start from there being passionate. Thank you so much. Let me just appreciate wale ambao mnatazama leo, wale watu ambao mlikuwa mnadhania tutacheza na Kiswahili peke yake. Samahani, unajua sometimes these are an international platform. So that's why tulikuwa natumia Kiingereza kidogo, but Ruth Mchina, thank you so much. She says that you are a great voice in Kenya. Presenter Clinton Kome from Meru is really learning a lot. Hana Waruguru, thank you so much. And then Bishop Mboke Weiss saying, watching from Akweni, listening to Dr. Njagi keenly and taking notes.
Wow.
Yes, Aden Gasheri from Tarakanithi, you're saying you are learning. Osorom Fulohani, another scholar, is a PhD or is a doctor. Also is really learning a lot from you. Tash Musyoki from the county government, my sister. Thank you so much, Tash. Thank you. She's also another leader, great leader here. And other people tuned in, God bless you so much. Allow me to just take a break so that we come back turudi na mgeni ambaye shafika pia ili tukazidi kuendelea. Kwa hivyo hii stream watu wa Facebook inapo end tunaanzia ingine ya mgeni ambaye anaingia next, ndio? Kwa hivyo keep watching.